Hi, my name is Dan, and this important training video is brought to you by Mountain West Asset Protection Services. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the Idaho Medicaid qualifying rules. Here's exactly what we're going to learn today. Why some people spend their entire life savings on home health care and nursing home costs, while others get a free ride. What are the two qualifying categories? And then how to qualify for Idaho Medicaid even if you have too much income and too many assets. So let's get started. Let's first of all examine why some people actually spend their life savings on nursing home costs while others seem to get a free ride. So if you've ever wondered why some people do this, then pay close attention because you're actually not alone. In fact, most middle-income families can receive full government assistance for healthcare costs if they know the rules for qualifying for Medicaid. Let's start off by saying that most poor families automatically qualify for Idaho Medicaid. What's this mean? Well, most poor families, their assets and their income is below the maximum levels and they automatically qualify for this benefit. However, most middle-income families believe they have to be poor before they qualify for Idaho Medicaid. So, what's the real truth in all this? Well, the first thing is you do not have to be poor to qualify for full Idaho Medicaid. And you don't have to go broke to qualify for Idaho Medicaid either. Let's take a look at a real-life case study with Don and Dot. Now, Don is 78 and his wife Dot is 72. They've been married for 52 wonderful years, but Dot was recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Now, their home is valued at $175,000, and they have joint assets totaling $350,000. Okay, so what's the problem? Well, Dot could no longer take care of herself, and this left Don to do everything for both of them, including cleaning the house and grocery shopping, cooking meals, paying the bills, and unfortunately the most difficult task, bathing, dressing, and helping Dot with going to the bathroom. At 78, Don was tired and he needed help, but he did not know where to turn. Now, like most middle-income families, he did not know that he and Dot could do something to qualify for Medicaid assistance. So the big question is, can Don and Dot qualify for Idaho Medicaid using their current asset base and their income? Well, let's take a closer look at this. First of all, there are two qualifying categories to consider: income and assets. So let's look at the income qualifying rules first. First of all, a married Medicaid applicant, in this case it's Dot, a married Medicaid applicant under most circumstances can allocate some or all of their income to the well spouse that's remaining at home. Now, the Medicaid term given to this is known as the Minimum Monthly Maintenance Needs Allowance, or the MMNA for short. What this allowance basically does in a nutshell is prevent the well spouse living at home from becoming impoverished. In addition, when the sick spouse applies for Medicaid, the rules then separate the spouse's income and their income is reviewed independent of each other. And then finally, this is important to know because if the sick spouse's income is too high, which is approximately $2,000 per month in Idaho, then they will not be qualified to receive Medicaid benefits. Here's an example. Don's current monthly income is $2,500 per month, whereas Dot's income is $1,200 per month. Now remember, Dot has Alzheimer's, so she's considered the sick spouse. However, if Don would apply for Medicaid, he would be denied because his monthly income exceeds the maximum limit of $2,000 per month. So, in this case, it works out just fine because Dot's income is well below the $2,000 limit. So if you do know the rules and apply the right strategies, then not only will you qualify like in the example above, but a significant portion of income can be redirected back to the well spouse at home so they can maintain their lifestyle. Now let's take a look at the asset considerations, because now that we know that the maximum amount of monthly income for a sick person to have is $2,000 per month, we also know that assets are the second category of consideration when qualifying for Idaho Medicaid. Here are the three categories of assets. Number one, exempt assets. In other words, these assets do not count. $2,000 in cash, the primary home, one car, personal property, funeral burial contracts, IRAs, and most states are protected if it's in the well spouse's name, and up to about $1,500 in cash value life insurance. So these are exempt assets that the local Medicaid office doesn't care if the well spouse at home retains. Unavailable assets is a second category class, and this is an interest in someone else's estate or real estate that cannot be sold. And then the final category of assets are countable assets, and just as the name implies, these assets count. Things like cash, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, tax-deferred annuities, a second car, buildings, or land owned. So I think you get the point here. So looking at the list above, the well spouse at home is allowed to keep assets like the primary home and one car. However, Medicaid rules only allow the well spouse to keep a limited amount of assets besides the house and car, and that limit is approximately $109,000. Now, as you can see, it would be easy for most families to reach the $109,000 limit of assets pretty quickly. The problem comes when the well spouse has more than 109. Without knowing the rules and applying proper asset protection strategies, the well spouse would be forced to spend down all the remaining assets greater than $109,000. Now, this doesn't have to be the case, and most families can protect up to 100% of the assets if no one is in a nursing home, and between 50 to 60% of assets even if one or both spouses are already in a nursing home. Would you like to learn how to qualify for Idaho Medicaid? Then send for our free report called Medicaid Secrets Revealed. This special industry report exposes the truth about how to qualify for nursing home benefits without spending down your life savings or subjecting your home to recovery. Get your free report right now by going to mountainwestassetprotectionservices.com or give us a quick call at area code 208-429-1798. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.